Welcome back to the channel. First of all, I want to thank everybody for stopping by again. This is going to be episode 3 of restoring this Ford Superduty over here. Today is going to be a big project. Today is painting the frame. I'm going to be Por15 the frame. It's going to be immaculate when it's done. If you take a closer look, you can see, like, right there, that's obviously the frame. Going back here, so it just looks like an eyesore from there, with the front axle painted, the rear axle getting done, and the frame's just kind of an eyesore. You can kind of see it on the back too. You can see it back there. It just looks bummy. So here's the deal. There's a few pieces I need to take off the frame. There's the brackets that hold the e-brake cable on. Take those off. We're going to give those a quick sandblast. We're going to paint those, make them look nice. And while those are off, we're going to be degreasing and prepping the frame. I don't think I need to show you that part again because you guys have seen it a million times. But the good thing now, we have an air compressor, right? So when I pull the truck in here, I can blow everything off and make sure it's nice and clean and dry before I apply Por15. Shout out to Harbor Freight, by the way. You go to Home Depot and you get like throwaway paintbrushes. They're $1.99 a brush. That's too much. So Harbor Freight had a pack of 36 of them for $8.99. And they're 2 inches instead of 1 inch. So it's going to be hopefully a little quicker. You know, might help out just a touch. Here's the plan. Like I said, there's some e-brake cable stuff I need to take care of. Pull all those brackets off. There's a couple shields under there that can be pulled off, and they'll fit in my blaster, and give them a quick glass bead, and then paint those up too, along with the bolt heads, and make sure everything looks nice, so that when we go ahead and reinstall, it's going to be beautiful. Today's agenda got switched up a little bit because it says it's supposed to rain a little later, but it is above 70 degrees. So if I can get a lot of this done early, it's pretty humid out, and humidity helps Por15 cure faster. So that's the plan here. If we can't get all of the frame done, I want to get the spots that are seen the most first, and then we'll go ahead and move into connecting it all and making it all pretty. But for the time being, I mean, most of the frame underneath you can't see, but just because you can't see it doesn't mean it shouldn't be done right. So let's, I'm going to go ahead and start degreasing and pressure washing, pulling off some things. We'll show some sandblasting, and then once we get to painting, I'll show a good bit of that portion. But for right now, we're going to get to work. Okay, so for the time being, I pulled a couple e-brake holder brackets that were pretty noticeable. They were the most noticeable ones at the time right there, because obviously when I get into where like the cab is at, the frame is kind of hidden, and I'll get to those pieces later on. But right now I have the brackets sandblasted and they're hung up on wire, so I'm going to get these hung up and sprayed out black. And then I also got the bolts masked and hung, and their heads are sandblasted, and those are going to go gloss black as well. So I'm going to get those hung up, sprayed out black, let them dry, and then I'm going to go etch the frame, make sure there's no residue on it, and then I'll start painting the Por15 here in a few minutes. It's a couple hours later. I have the whole frame scuffed up, degreased, prepped. And so now I'm just waiting for it to dry. I'm going to let it drip dry. It's pretty windy and humid, so it should go pretty quick. And then once that's dry, grab a brush and some Por15, and we'll start going to town. I'm going to put my brackets, once they're dry, back on the frame. And then I'm going to paint around them so that everything is copacetic and we don't get anything in the threads. And then after that, then it's just on to painting the frame. I'll show you guys here in just a second how I'm going to go about doing it. But as you can see, there's the frame getting ready to get painted. It should be looking real crisp when we're done. Let's let that dry. We're gonna let that drip dry, and then we'll get to painting some Por15. Well, it has been probably 20-ish minutes or so. Throw some gloves on here. I'm gonna open up this Por15. I'm gonna start painting this frame. So there was a little bit of an issue. We did not have enough metal prep to do like the center section of the frame. So my plan here is going to be to do as much as I can, but also getting the most visible spots, like the spots that are, you know, well, the spots that you can see the most, pretty much. So I'm going to open up this Por15, and then we're going to get to painting. Por15 becomes hard as a rock, so it's kind of hard to get the top back off if there's a little bit of stuff stuck around there. And in my case, there's a lot of bit of stuff stuck around there. It'll take me a second. That was quite hard. It's quite hard to get everything off that. Alrighty. So I'm going to start with close in and then work my way out. See if how it's going to lay down. Saturate this brush. Oh man, this 2-inch brush is so much better. I have to say, it's probably going to look so good just by this little bit that I've done so far. It is already looking so awesome. Alright everybody, here's a look at most of the finished project. We are 99% of the way there. Let's see if we can get a closer look in here. That looks so much better than all that rust. And I did it on the back here as well. See, it's still dry in here. There's still some bits and pieces that need to be cleaned up, like some of that bracketry and new bump stops and, you know, obviously leaf springs and whatnot. But other than that, that's the finished look. Alright, well, it is a different day from when I was painting the fronts and the rears of the frame. But I got to thinking about it. I don't really want to do anything half-assed on this build. And I know, me personally, that is a trait of mine that I don't really enjoy. So I'm going to get back to work, and I'm going to connect all of that painting. I got some more prep. I already prepped out the metal. It is good to go. So we just have to paint. We're gonna roll around underneath this truck a little more. I'm contemplating on using a roller. So let's give it a shot here. If anybody's curious, I wear a 60 by 40 foot shop. I'd say one of the coolest things about Por15 is it's just like a directly over rust kind of thing. You want to make sure it's like not flaky. There's no flaky rust, but you know, you don't have to sand it down to bare metal to apply it. It just goes on, you know. It's just a very easy product to use, and I think that's probably why I like it a lot, and, you know, the quality. I've used a lot of rust preventative paints in my time working on cars, and I do have to say Por15 happens to be like the easiest one of the easiest ones to use. It does take a little while to prep your metal, but once your metal's prepped, man, it goes on so quick, very smooth, and it's like it self-levels too. I've said this in a past video. It's like it self-levels, and it just looks awesome when it's done. And when it dries, it's hard as a rock. It doesn't flex like other paints. So if you've ever been curious or interested to try it and just, you know, not wanting to pull the trigger yet, I completely understand. But I think you should pull the trigger and check it out. I would say painting the frame is probably one of the most tedious parts of this whole thing that I've done. There's just so many nooks and crannies that need to be, you know, touched. So there's just so much going on down here. But when it's done, I shall tell you, it already looks a million times better. But just making it look this good is the conundrum, I guess. I want to get your guys' opinion. Do you think that I should take off, you know, things like this and this guy over here, and get these guys sandblasted and painted? Obviously, they're the lowest hanging parts of this truck, so you'd want it to look nice, I think. Let me know down in the comments. Let me know down in the comments if you think I should take this guy off, get him sandblasted and painted, and then get this gas cover off and painted, because it's not going to fall down if you take this off. It's still strapped, so it's not going to fall off. Alright, that's the frame painted there. I'm going to go bust out the other side. And then this side's 100% done. And that looks so good. Sweet. With the magic of YouTube, we now have a painted frame on both sides. As you can see there, painted all the way around. Now those just look out of place, don't they? Now I kind of have to paint those. Well, as you can see, quite a dirty job. I wore gloves and still somehow managed to get it all over my hands. I bet you it's from this here. With those pieces done, well, the frame done now we can actually move on to some cool stuff and actually start customizing things. I kind of want to move away from gloss black. Obviously, gloss black looks freaking amazing on anything that you can put it on. But now is the time that everything is back to OE spec and cleaned, rust-free, and it's going to be perfect. Now's the time that we can start getting the garage set up kind of to do some cool stuff, because in this box over here, I have some prismatic powders. Powder coat, and what I'm going to be wanting to do is start getting things in the engine bay, underneath the truck, little miscellaneous parts and pieces here and there to get it just absolutely gorgeous. But shout out to Prismatic Powders, because this color is going to be insane. So stick around and find out what the color is going to be in the next few videos. I'm working on getting 220 volt wired up in the shop, so that way I'll be able to have an oven in here, and then also be able to spray out all my powder coat stuff. And then that leaves me room to grow in the future if I want to get a bigger air compressor, which I probably will at some point, but for now, this works perfect for me. But also let me know down in the comments what you think of the Por15 on the frame and how it looks, or how you think it came out. With that being said, I'm going to wrap it up right here. Thank you guys for watching this video. I appreciate the support from each and every one of you guys. I want to hear from you guys, so put it down in the comments. Let me know what you think, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.